Relationships are built on trust, communication, and mutual support. They thrive when both partners invest emotionally, work together through challenges, and continuously nurture the bond. However, relationships are not always smooth sailing. Over time, small changes in behavior can indicate a shift in the dynamics of a relationship. These changes often begin subtly, but when ignored, they can become serious red flags, signaling that one partner may be losing interest or becoming emotionally distant. If you've noticed that your partner is acting differently, such as being less affectionate, avoiding conversations, or making excuses to spend time apart, it might be a sign that they are no longer as emotionally engaged as they once were. These behaviors are not always easy to recognize, but they can have a profound impact on your emotional well-being. When your partner begins to withdraw or becomes less involved, it can lead to feelings of insecurity, confusion, and sadness. It may even make you question whether the relationship is still healthy or if the connection you once shared is fading. While every relationship goes through ups and downs, when these signs persist, it can be difficult to ignore the growing emotional distance. Often, the partner who is withdrawing may not even be fully aware of the effect their behavior is having on their significant other. However, for the person on the receiving end of these changes, it can feel isolating and painful. The lack of support, affection, and involvement can create a sense of being unloved and unappreciated, and over time, it can erode the foundation of the relationship. Recognizing these signs early on is essential. Addressing them before they become deeply ingrained patterns can give both partners the opportunity to reconnect and rebuild the emotional intimacy that might be slipping away. Open communication, expressing concerns, and being honest about feelings are vital to understanding what's going wrong and whether the relationship can be salvaged. It's important to understand that while some of these behaviors can be caused by external factors such as stress, work pressures, or personal struggles, a consistent pattern of emotional withdrawal could indicate deeper issues in the relationship. Sometimes, a partner may no longer feel the same way, or they might be dealing with their own emotions that prevent them from fully engaging with their partner. In other cases, these signs may reflect unresolved conflicts, lack of appreciation, or feelings of resentment that have built up over time. No relationship is perfect, but when both partners are actively engaged and committed to the relationship's growth, challenges can be overcome. Understanding the warning signs of emotional disengagement can help guide you in addressing these issues head-on, ensuring that both partners feel heard, valued, and loved. Recognizing when things are changing is the first step toward having an honest conversation that could either rekindle the relationship or clarify if it's time to part ways. In either case, recognizing the signs of emotional withdrawal is crucial in maintaining a healthy and fulfilling relationship. 1. They stop initiating conversations or plans. When your partner stops initiating conversations or plans, it can be a significant sign that their interest is waning. In a healthy and loving relationship, both partners typically take turns reaching out to each other, whether it's starting a conversation or making plans to spend time together. Communication and effort from both sides are essential for keeping the connection strong. If your partner suddenly stops initiating conversations, it might feel as though you're the only one trying to keep things going. You find yourself constantly texting, calling, or suggesting activities, while they don't make the effort to reach out to you first. This lack of initiative could indicate a shift in their feelings. They might not feel as invested in the relationship as they once did, or they could be prioritizing other aspects of their life over you. Additionally, when someone stops planning future activities or outings, it can feel like the relationship is no longer a priority. Whether it's a simple dinner date or a weekend getaway, making plans together shows that both individuals care about spending quality time with each other. If your partner no longer takes the initiative to plan future events or even casual hangouts, it may suggest they're losing interest or have become emotionally distant. While occasional busy periods are normal, a consistent pattern of not initiating conversation or making plans can lead to a growing emotional distance. It's essential to address these changes early on, as they could indicate deeper issues within the relationship. Communication is key. If you're noticing this pattern, it may be worth having an open conversation with your partner about your feelings and the changes you've observed. 2. They become less responsive to your texts or calls. When your partner becomes less responsive to your texts or calls, it can be an indication that their interest in the relationship is diminishing. Initially, in a loving relationship, partners tend to be eager to stay in touch throughout the day, whether it's through a simple text or a quick call. However, if you notice that your messages go unanswered for hours or even days, or if your calls are ignored or sent to voicemail frequently, it can leave you feeling neglected and uncertain about where you stand. This lack of responsiveness could stem from various reasons, one of which may be emotional disengagement. If someone is no longer emotionally invested in the relationship, they may stop putting in the effort to maintain regular communication. Their lack of response might not always mean they are intentionally avoiding you, but more likely, they might not prioritize the relationship as much as they once did. It's also possible that they may be dealing with other personal issues or distractions that have nothing to do with you, but are still affecting how much attention they give to the relationship. Regardless of the cause, this pattern of diminishing communication can lead to feelings of confusion and frustration, making it difficult to understand where you stand with your partner. In a healthy relationship, communication is essential to keep the bond strong. When the communication slows down, it's important to address the issue and have an honest conversation with your partner about how you're feeling. If their lack of responsiveness continues without any explanation or effort to change, it may be a sign that their feelings have shifted and the relationship might not be as strong as it once was. 3. You feel like you're always the one to make the effort. When you feel like you're always the one to make the effort in a relationship, it can leave you feeling drained, frustrated, and unappreciated. In a balanced relationship, both partners contribute equally to maintaining the bond. This means putting in effort to show love, care, and attention, whether through small gestures or big actions. However, if you find yourself constantly initiating plans, reaching out for conversations, or taking on the majority of responsibilities in the relationship, it can start to feel one-sided. This imbalance may indicate that your partner is no longer as invested in the relationship as you are. They may be emotionally distant or less interested in actively participating in the relationship, leaving you to take on most of the work. While occasional busy periods are normal, if you're always the one putting in the effort, it can lead to feelings of resentment and make you question whether your partner truly values the relationship. It's important to recognize that relationships require mutual effort and commitment from both people. If you find yourself constantly making the effort to connect, plan, and keep the relationship alive, but your partner isn't reciprocating, it might be time to reflect on whether they are still as emotionally invested. A lack of effort can signal a shift in priorities or feelings, and it's crucial to address the issue through open communication. When one person is always making the effort, it can create a sense of imbalance where one partner feels neglected or taken for granted. If this pattern continues without change, it might indicate deeper issues in the relationship that need to be addressed for it to thrive. 4. They avoid spending time alone with you. When your partner starts avoiding spending time alone with you, it can be a troubling sign that something is off in the relationship. Initially, spending quality time together is often a priority in a loving relationship, as it strengthens the emotional bond and helps both partners connect. If your partner suddenly seems to make excuses to avoid being alone with you, it could signal that they are distancing themselves emotionally. One reason for this behavior might be a desire to avoid confrontation or difficult conversations. If there are unresolved issues or growing tensions, your partner might find it easier to spend time with others, or be busy with other activities instead of facing the relationship's challenges. It can also be a sign that they no longer feel comfortable or connected with you on an emotional level. Another possible reason for avoiding alone time could be a shift in priorities. If they are no longer as invested in the relationship, they may prefer to spend time with friends, family, or pursuing individual interests, rather than nurturing the bond with you. This shift can make you feel sidelined and unimportant, as though your presence no longer holds the same significance. It's also possible that your partner might be pulling away because they feel overwhelmed or need space to figure out their own feelings. However, if this avoidance becomes a consistent pattern, it's a clear indication that the relationship dynamic is changing. The lack of desire to spend time alone with you can be a sign of emotional disengagement, and it's important to address it by having an open conversation with your partner about how you're feeling. Ignoring this behavior may lead to further emotional distance and could ultimately affect the long-term health of the relationship. 5. They stop sharing personal thoughts or feelings. When your partner stops sharing personal thoughts or feelings, it can indicate a growing emotional distance in the relationship. In the beginning of a relationship, sharing personal experiences, dreams, and vulnerabilities is often a natural part of bonding. It helps build trust and intimacy. However, if your partner begins to close off emotionally and stops sharing their inner world with you, it may signal that they are either withdrawing from the relationship or struggling with their own emotions. There could be several reasons for this shift. Sometimes people stop sharing because they feel their thoughts or feelings won't be understood or appreciated. If there have been misunderstandings or a lack of emotional support in the past, your partner might feel hesitant to open up, fearing judgment or rejection. On the other hand, they could also be going through personal struggles that they don't want to burden you with, or they may not know how to communicate their emotions effectively. The absence of sharing can also be a sign that your partner is emotionally disengaged or even considering a shift in the relationship. When someone becomes less open, it often suggests they are no longer as invested in building a deeper connection. They may be protecting themselves by shutting off emotionally, which makes it harder to maintain a strong, intimate bond. If this behavior persists, it's important to address it. In a healthy relationship, both partners should feel comfortable discussing their thoughts, fears, and desires. If your partner has stopped sharing, it could indicate that they are no longer emotionally available, or they may be facing challenges that need to be acknowledged. It's crucial to have an honest conversation to understand what's causing this distance and to determine whether the relationship can be restored or if it's time to reassess where things stand. 6. They seem distracted when you're together. When your partner seems distracted when you're together, it can be a clear sign that their attention and emotional investment are elsewhere. Being distracted in each other's presence, whether by their phone, thoughts, or other activities, can create a feeling of emotional disconnection. In a healthy relationship, partners usually focus on one another, especially when they're spending time together. Distractions, however, can indicate a lack of interest or engagement, and over time, this behavior can lead to a sense of being neglected. This distraction might manifest in various ways. Your partner may check their phone constantly, not engage in the conversation, or seem preoccupied with thoughts unrelated to the moment. If they're not fully present when you're trying to have meaningful conversations or share experiences, it can leave you feeling invisible or unimportant. It's also possible that the distractions reflect deeper issues in the relationship. If your partner seems distracted, it may suggest they're avoiding emotional connection or aren't invested in the relationship at that moment. Alternatively, they might be dealing with personal stress, worries, or a shift in their feelings that they're not addressing. In these cases, they might not know how to communicate their emotions, so they retreat into their own world instead of being fully present with you. If you notice this pattern occurring frequently, it's important to bring it up with your partner. Communication is key. By expressing how this behavior makes you feel, you can open the door to understanding whether the distractions are due to external factors or a deeper issue in the relationship. If left unaddressed, this emotional distance could widen and further strain the bond. 7. They no longer compliment you or show affection. When your partner no longer compliments you or shows affection, it can be a painful and noticeable shift in the relationship. Compliments and affectionate gestures, whether verbal or physical, are essential for maintaining emotional closeness and reinforcing love and appreciation. When these signs of affection suddenly stop, it can leave you questioning your partner's feelings and whether they still care about you the way they once did. In the beginning of a relationship, compliments and physical affection often come naturally, as both partners are eager to express their admiration for each other. However, when a partner stops giving compliments, it might indicate a lack of interest or appreciation. They may not see the need to express affection anymore, or they may have become emotionally distant. Similarly, a lack of physical affection, such as holding hands, hugging, kissing, or cuddling, can create an emotional gap. Touch and closeness are powerful ways to strengthen bonds, and when this is no longer part of the relationship, it can make you feel unimportant or unloved. Physical affection often acts as a reassurance of love and intimacy, and its absence can signify a deeper emotional withdrawal. There are many potential reasons for this change in behavior. Your partner could be going through personal struggles or stress that makes them less expressive, or they might be losing interest in the relationship altogether. They may also feel that the relationship has become too comfortable, and they stop making an effort to keep the romantic energy alive. If this pattern continues, it's important to have a conversation with your partner about how you're feeling. Express your need for affection and compliments and ask if something has changed for them. Addressing this issue can help bring back the emotional and physical closeness that may have been lost, or it can clarify where the relationship stands and what steps need to be taken moving forward. 8. They frequently cancel plans or seem uninterested. When your partner frequently cancels plans or seems uninterested in spending time together, it can be a clear indicator that their feelings towards the relationship are shifting. In a healthy relationship, both partners make an effort to prioritize each other and enjoy shared moments. However, if your partner is consistently making excuses to cancel plans or showing little enthusiasm for activities that once excited them, it can leave you feeling neglected or undervalued. Repeated cancellations can be a sign of emotional disengagement. Your partner might be withdrawing from the relationship, either because they no longer feel the same way or because they are prioritizing other aspects of their life over the relationship. This behavior can feel hurtful, as it creates a sense that you're not important enough to make time for, especially when it becomes a pattern. It may also lead to feelings of confusion, as you wonder whether your partner is truly committed or simply going through the motions. It's also possible that your partner's lack of interest in making plans reflects a broader issue in the relationship. They might be feeling overwhelmed by other commitments, dealing with personal struggles, or simply not invested in the relationship anymore. Sometimes, a lack of enthusiasm can come from feeling disconnected or uncertain about the future of the relationship. If you notice this behavior happening frequently, it's important to address it. Open communication is key. Express how you're feeling about the cancellations and lack of interest, and ask your partner if there's something bothering them. Understanding the root cause of this behavior can help you both navigate the situation and decide whether the relationship can be strengthened or if it's time to reassess its direction. 9. They stop being involved in your life or interests. When your partner stops being involved in your life or interests, it can signal a shift in the dynamics of the relationship. In the early stages, partners often take an active interest in each other's hobbies, passions, and daily experiences. They enjoy discovering what excites and matters to the other person. However, if your partner begins to withdraw from these aspects of your life, it might suggest they're becoming emotionally distant or disengaged from the relationship. This lack of involvement can manifest in several ways. They might no longer ask about your day, show interest in the activities you enjoy, or support you in pursuing your personal goals. If you used to share experiences, such as attending events, exploring new hobbies, or simply talking about your interests, and your partner no longer participates or shows enthusiasm, it can feel isolating. It's as if they are no longer invested in you as an individual or in your happiness. The reason for this disengagement can vary. It might indicate that your partner is feeling disconnected emotionally, or it could be a sign that they are preoccupied with other aspects of their life and are no longer as interested in sharing those moments with you. This could stem from personal stress, emotional fatigue, or in some cases, a lack of effort in nurturing the relationship. If you notice that your partner has stopped engaging with your life or interests, it's important to bring it up in a thoughtful, non-confrontational way. Addressing the issue can help you understand whether they are simply going through a phase, or if this behavior reflects a deeper change in the relationship. Either way, it's crucial to ensure that both partners continue to feel valued and engaged in the connection. 10. They avoid physical touch or intimacy. When your partner starts avoiding physical touch or intimacy, it can be a significant sign that something has changed in the relationship. Physical affection, whether it's holding hands, hugging, kissing, or being intimate, plays a vital role in maintaining emotional closeness and bonding. When these gestures of affection suddenly stop, it can leave you feeling rejected or uncertain about where you stand. There are several reasons why someone might avoid physical touch. It could be due to stress, personal issues, or emotional withdrawal, where your partner starts distancing themselves not just emotionally, but physically as well. If they're no longer seeking physical closeness, it can indicate that they're not as emotionally available or invested in the relationship. They might be experiencing a shift in their feelings or even struggling with intimacy for personal reasons, which can be difficult to communicate. In some cases, a lack of physical affection may be a sign that your partner feels disconnected or dissatisfied in other areas of the relationship. If emotional needs aren't being met, it can manifest in a lack of desire for physical closeness. It can also suggest that they may no longer feel the same level of attraction or love that they once did, though this might not always be easy to admit. If you notice that your partner is avoiding physical touch or intimacy, it's important to have an open and honest conversation. Express how their actions are making you feel, and ask if there are any underlying issues affecting their behavior. Understanding whether this is a temporary phase or a deeper issue can help you both figure out how to move forward. Physical affection is a vital part of most relationships, and when it fades, addressing it early on can help prevent further emotional distance. 11. Make more excuses to be apart or with others. When your partner starts making more excuses to be apart or to spend time with others instead of you, it can be a clear sign that they are emotionally distancing themselves. In a committed relationship, spending time together is important for maintaining the connection and nurturing the bond. If your partner consistently prefers to be with friends, family, or by themselves rather than spending quality time with you, it may suggest that their priorities are shifting. This behavior can take many forms. Your partner might suddenly be too busy to hang out, make last-minute plans with other people, or find reasons to avoid one-on-one time with you. This avoidance can be particularly hurtful if it feels like you're no longer a priority in their life. If they're frequently seeking out other people's company rather than enjoying time together, it may signal a lack of interest in nurturing the relationship or a growing emotional disconnect. The reasons behind this behavior can vary. Your partner might feel overwhelmed or exhausted, needing space to recharge or deal with personal issues. Alternatively, they might be withdrawing because they are no longer as emotionally invested in the relationship, or they might be avoiding difficult conversations or conflicts that have yet to be addressed. This pattern of avoidance can leave you feeling neglected, as though you're not valued or appreciated. If you notice this happening regularly, it's important to talk to your partner about how you feel. Understanding the root cause of their behavior is key to determining whether there's an underlying issue that can be resolved, or if it's a sign of deeper emotional distance that needs to be addressed. It's crucial to have open communication to understand whether this behavior is a temporary phase or a reflection of more significant changes in the relationship. 12. They stop being interested in solving relationship problems. When your partner stops being interested in solving relationship problems, it can signal a serious issue within the dynamic. In any relationship, disagreements and challenges are inevitable. What matters is how both partners work together to resolve them. When one partner begins to show a lack of interest in addressing problems or finding solutions, it can suggest that they are no longer as invested in the relationship or are emotionally disengaged. A healthy relationship relies on open communication and the willingness to work through difficulties together. If your partner stops making the effort to resolve conflicts, it may feel as though they've given up or aren't prioritizing the relationship anymore. They might avoid tough conversations, dismiss your concerns, or ignore efforts to discuss issues openly. This behavior can make you feel unheard or unimportant, as though your feelings no longer matter. There are various reasons why a partner might stop being interested in solving relationship problems. It could be a sign of emotional exhaustion, where they feel drained from ongoing issues that haven't been resolved or addressed. Sometimes it's an indication that they've emotionally checked out and are no longer committed to making the relationship work. It could also mean they are avoiding confrontation because they don't know how to approach the situation or fear conflict. If this pattern of avoiding conflict resolution continues, it's important to address it. Express how you feel about the lack of effort in solving problems and ask if there's something going on that they're not sharing. A relationship that doesn't address its issues can quickly become strained, and without resolution, it may begin to deteriorate. Open dialogue about the state of the relationship and the challenges you're both facing is crucial to determining whether both partners are still invested in working things out or if the emotional distance has become too great to bridge. 13. They give you short or uninterested replies during conversations. When your partner gives you short or uninterested replies during conversations, it can be a clear sign that they are emotionally disconnected or less engaged in the relationship. Communication is a cornerstone of any strong partnership, and when your conversations become one-sided or lack the usual depth, it can be unsettling and hurtful. Initially, in a loving relationship, partners are excited to share their thoughts, feelings, and daily experiences with each other. However, when responses become curt or lack enthusiasm, it can feel as though your partner is no longer invested in maintaining that emotional connection. A short response like, "I don't know," or "whatever," can indicate disinterest or frustration, especially if it happens frequently and with no further effort to engage in the conversation. This behavior may signal that your partner is emotionally withdrawn or is feeling disconnected from the relationship. They may not feel the need to engage deeply or might be distracted by other thoughts or concerns. It could also reflect frustration or resentment that hasn't been addressed, making them less motivated to contribute to the conversation. If this pattern continues, it may lead to a growing emotional gap between you, as one partner might start to feel ignored, dismissed, or unimportant. If you notice that your partner is consistently giving you short or uninterested replies, it's essential to talk about it openly. Share how this behavior makes you feel and ask if there's something bothering them that they're not expressing. Sometimes, underlying issues or miscommunications can lead to this kind of emotional withdrawal. Addressing it together can help you both understand each other better and restore the connection in your conversations. Ignoring this behavior might make the emotional distance wider, so addressing it with care and understanding is crucial for maintaining a healthy relationship. 14. They stop supporting or cheering you on in your goals. When your partner stops supporting or cheering you on in your goals, it can be a sign that their emotional investment in the relationship is waning. In a strong partnership, both people encourage and uplift each other, especially when it comes to pursuing personal dreams, ambitions, and goals. This support is not just about celebrating achievements, but also about providing motivation and encouragement during the tough times. When this kind of support fades, It can leave you feeling alone and unsure about where you stand in the relationship. If your partner no longer shows interest in your goals or accomplishments, it can feel like they no longer care about your happiness or success. Whether it's a career goal, a personal project, or a life aspiration, having a partner who is genuinely excited and supportive can make a huge difference. When they stop cheering you on or offering encouragement, it can make you question whether they are still invested in your growth or if they're no longer emotionally connected to your journey. There can be several reasons why this support fades. Sometimes a partner may be struggling with their own issues, which makes it difficult for them to focus on or support your goals. In other cases, they may be feeling disconnected from the relationship or indifferent to your ambitions. It could also indicate a lack of appreciation or recognition for the importance of your goals. If you notice this change, it's essential to have an open and honest conversation with your partner about how their lack of support is affecting you. Ask if there's something that's causing them to withdraw or if there's something they feel is lacking in the relationship. Re-establishing mutual support and encouragement can help reawaken the emotional connection and strengthen the bond between you. 15. They don't seem to care about your happiness or well-being. When your partner doesn't seem to care about your happiness or well-being, it can be one of the most painful signs that the relationship is in trouble. In a healthy relationship, both partners care deeply about each other's emotional and physical well-being, making an effort to nurture each other's happiness and growth. If your partner shows indifference toward your happiness or well-being, it can leave you feeling unsupported, unimportant, and emotionally distant. This lack of care can be expressed in several ways. They may disregard your feelings or dismiss your needs, showing little concern when you're upset or going through a tough time. They might not notice when you're stressed, sick, or in need of emotional support. A partner who doesn't care about your well-being might fail to check in on you, offer help when you need it, or show any empathy or compassion toward your struggles. Over time, this can erode the emotional connection between you both, making you feel alone and undervalued in the relationship. There are different reasons why a partner might stop caring about your happiness. It could stem from emotional exhaustion, frustration, or feelings of resentment that have gone unaddressed. In some cases, it might reflect a deeper disconnection, where they are no longer invested in the relationship or are struggling with their own personal issues that prevent them from being there for you. Sometimes, it's a sign that the relationship is no longer fulfilling for one or both partners. If you notice that your partner doesn't seem to care about your happiness or well-being, it's crucial to have an open and honest conversation. Share how their behavior is affecting you and ask for clarification on their feelings. It's important to understand whether they are emotionally disengaged or if there are other factors at play. Either way, recognizing and addressing this lack of care can help you determine the future of the relationship and whether both partners are willing to work together to rebuild emotional closeness.